The astrological placings of Pluto and Saturn, their 2001 oppositional alignment, give us an astoundingly accurate above configuration to the events of 9/11 below. The astrological signs which housed the oppositional alignment, Sagittarius and Gemini, give us an astrological axis of polarity which not only played a significant role in the events of September the 11th, 2001, but also in the history of the USA itself. An individual's astrological birth chart is made up of a number of fundamental elements, the basics of which are the zodiac's 12 signs from Aries to Pisces, which are also known as the houses. The first house, traditionally ruled by Aries, when applied to an individual's birth chart, gives the astrologer the point within the chart known as the ascendant. The ascendant, also known as the rising sign, is indeed the sign seen rising above the eastern horizon at the moment of the individual's birth. When the time, date and location of the individual is ascertained, the rising sign or ascendant can be concluded, and depending on the time, date and locational information, the ascendant can be any one of the 12 signs. Once the ascendant of the individual is determined, the planets can be given their correct house placings and the basic elements of the birth chart are completed. The point opposite the ascendant is known as the descendant, and these two opposite extremes of the birth chart give us another astrological axis of polarity. It is this axis of polarity which has been the focus of intense debate within the US astrological community for some 150 years. As well as casting charts for individuals, astrologers also cast charts for events such as 9/11 and charts for countries of the world. And in US astrological circles, the central subject of astrological debate is over the US chart's ascendant and descendant axis of polarity. The majority of the US astrological community believe that this ascendant-descendant axis of polarity is either Sagittarius, Gemini rising, Sagittarius descendant, the very same axis of polarity that Saturn and Pluto occupied on 9/11, 2001. The US astrological community has debated the ascendant-descendant axis of polarity for some 150 years, and is, figuratively speaking, split down the middle, with one half believing the country of the US has Sagittarius rising, and the other half believing the US ascendant sign is Gemini. The debate is centered upon the two most notable US birth charts, one cast by 18th century occultist Ebenezer Sibley, and the other by Luke Broughton, the 19th century prominent astrologer. Ebenezer Sibley, who cast a time around 1784, was born in England. Ebenezer Sibley was also Luke Broughton, responsible for the Gemini rising chart, published in 1861, was also born in England, and as well as being America's most prominent astrologer of his day, he was also a doctor. Broughton's Gemini rising chart is based on the discovery of the planet Uranus, the astrological planet of revolution. Sibley believed that Uranus should be placed on the USA's ascendant line because it symbolized the USA's historical revolutionary spirit. The chart is cast for July 4th, 1776, the signing of America's Declaration of Independence at 2:17 a.m. Broughton believed this to be the time at which the Declaration of Independence was signed. However, there is no evidence for this historically. Broughton's chart seems based on his astrological preference of the revolutionary planet Uranus being discovered at around the same time as America's Revolutionary War of Independence. Ebenezer Sibley, our high-ranking Freemason, also based his chart on the signing of the Declaration of Independence date July 4th, 1776, many of the signatories of which were also Freemasons. Sibley was notoriously featured in the UK's Gloucester Journal in an article dated July 4th, 1791, the same day and month date upon which his USA chart is based. According to the article, Sibley's occultist work was suppressed by the government of the day, under the idea that his work revealed secrets dangerous to be known. Sibley's chart seems to be based on specific inside information of the actual declaration's signing time of 5:10 p.m. and does seem to be backed up by historical evidence. This places the USA's ascendant at 12 degrees of Sagittarius, and Pluto, our planet of transformation through destruction, was at the exact same 12-degree point of Sagittarius, opposing Saturn on 9/11/2001. The ascendant is the birth line or starting point of the birth chart and its subject. It is the beginning of the birth chart's foundation, and some have compared it to the dawn of the life of the subject in question. The USA's birth date of July 4th, 1776 does of course represent the birth of the country's independence, the signing of the Declaration of Independence, and, like the ascendant itself, it is the country's starting point, its beginning, its foundation, and its dawn. The rising sign itself shares remarkable correlative qualities with the birth of the USA. A Sagittarian quality is one of freedom, something that the founding fathers had foremost in their minds at the Declaration's signing, the Declaration being commonly known as the first of America's freedom documents. This leads us to more Sagittarian qualities of politics and law. The Declaration was of course a political document, the foundation for the other freedom documents of political law, the US Constitution and the Bill of Rights. The 1776 ascendant line of the USA was at 12 degrees Sagittarius, and Pluto, our planet of transformation, was at the exact same degree on 9/11/2001, thus transforming the foundation of the country, which led to the signing of the Patriot Acts, which many have claimed have destroyed the foundation of political and lawful freedom upon which the USA is built. Is all this just coincidence? Synchronicity? As above, so below magical synergy? Could alleged 9/11 perpetrator Osama bin Laden have unknowingly timed his attack with such serendipitous precision, executing his transformative blow precisely when Pluto, planet of transformation, sat exactly upon the foundation point of the USA, freedom capital of the Western world? Perhaps bin Laden purposefully used the as above so below energy of the day because he knew that once the US had realized that
our very freedom came under attack,
and they had responded to the terrorist organization Al-Qaeda by saying,
they cannot touch the foundation of America.
The astrological energy of the day and its reverberations would be just too strong, and eventually Bush would be cosmically forced to transform and destroy the foundation of America himself. Perhaps it was one in the all-seeing eye of the great Satan's many occultist secret societies themselves, because they believe in magic.